Hello, friends. Welcome to part one of your reading lesson today. Today, in part one, you, along with Miss Spears, are going to be talking about all the things that you have learned so far from Feel the Wind. Knowledge that you have learned, as well as new things that you have learned how to do to be a better reader or writer. So today you're going to talk about those things with Miss Spears, and then you're going to either write them down in your journal or you're going to type them on this slide right here. You have two options. You can either type it here in these boxes, or you can write it in your journal and insert a picture here on the slide. All right? And I will see you back shortly for part two.
Hello, first graders, and welcome back to Wit and Wisdom in Sync. My name is Tanisha Spears, and I'm excited to jump into our lesson for today. But before we do, let's make sure you have your materials ready. For this lesson, you will need your copy of the text, Feel the Wind, if you have one. You'll need handout 7A, which is the topic sandwich chart, handout 7B, the informative writing checklist, your Wit and Wisdom in Sync journal, and a pencil. We'll also go over assessment 6A, but I'll show that to you on the screen. Pause the video now if you need to gather your materials. In previous work, you had a chance to identify the main idea and key details in the text, Feel the Wind, as well as make comparisons between various research sources. Today, you'll reflect on the knowledge you've built from reading Feel the Wind, and you'll practice your focusing question task. Now, before you reflect, let's think about the question that we are building knowledge to answer throughout this module. And that question is, how do people respond to the powerful force of the wind? And remember, the question that guided our work with the text Feel the Wind is, how is wind a powerful force? And remember that the research you've been doing with the multiple sources has helped you with answering this question. Now, friends, the question that will frame our learning for today is, how does this text build my knowledge of the wind? So before you write your focusing question task, you will reflect on your learning from the text, Feel the Wind. You are going to reflect using a chart that we've used before, and it's the chart you see on your screen. Remember, on the left-hand side is where you capture the new information you've learned or what you know as a result of reading the text. And on the right-hand side is where you identify the things you can do or the skills you can do as a reader and a writer from reading the text, Feel the Wind. Are you ready? Now what I want you to do is I want you to think, what did you learn from reading the text, Feel the Wind? Think. If you need a hint, you might think about what you learned about how wind is created or what the wind can do. All right, think. Now, share with a learning partner or share aloud one thing you learned. Here's something I learned, and I wonder if you said something similar. I learned that wind can be helpful, and it can help us fly a kite, it can sail a boat, and we can even create power with windmills. Did you think of something similar? I'm sure you did. Now, let's think about what you learned to do as a reader and a writer from reading the text, Feel the Wind. Think about what you learned about doing research or what you learned about using sources. Think. Share with your learning partner or just share aloud something you learned to do as a reader and a writer. Here's something that I learned. I learned about using more than one source to do research. I also learned to identify which information was similar and which information What's different when we gathered information from two sources? Did you say something similar? I'm sure you did. Now it's your turn. You are going to record aloud or write at least one thing you know and one thing you can do after reading the text, Feel the Wind. Are you ready? Pause the video now to record or write. Okay, friends, if you need to, pause the video to take a moment to stretch or take a quick break. When you're